So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. Some of my thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me, and they matter to me, and it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through compared to now, I guess. But yeah, enjoy the video. Peace. What a great weekend again. Long bank holiday. Gotta love it. Actually feeling ready to go back to work tomorrow, I'll be honest. Get some stuff done. So, figured quite a bit out sort of this weekend. Especially on the topic of the house. And I think for me, I do figure out a lot when I'm typing in my notes, and it sort of methodically gets my thoughts out into a sort of a systematic way where I can read them back and I can adjust the text and be like, no, this is what it is, yeah, this is what it is, and then it leads on to another point and another point. But one of the things I do is I sort of build things up. That's what I'm used to. That's how I naturally am, because what I would do is I would build things up, stresses up and problems up. Sorry, I'm not comfy. I'd build things up and stresses, get on top of me. And then what I'd do is I'd just keep it all in, bottle it all in, try and figure it out, get frustrated with figuring it out, keep it in, tell no one, and then have a night where I'd more than likely watch a film, watch a series, end up in tears at the end of the episode or film, come to all these big realizations, be really upset, be really sad, and then at the end of all the sadness, I'd come to an even bigger realization and it all be released from me and I wouldn't be stressed and I'd feel great. I almost got to the point where I'd actually enjoy the big cries that I would have. But obviously I found out I don't need to do that. And those times when it gets on top of me and I build these things up and it gets too much, that period where it lasts for too long isn't what I want in life. It's a poison to me, essentially. Now, I was saying this to my girlfriend, but pressure for me is a great fuel, but also a great poison. So I can use pressure to push myself and to keep going and to figure things out. But when there's too much pressure built up, not too much pressure happening, but too much pressure built up, and I've not figured out why I'm feeling this way, and or I've not found methods to sort of release that pressure, then it builds up and makes me, starts poisoning me. Luckily, I've got a girlfriend I can speak to, I've got a family that I can speak to whenever I want now, or I had it anyway, but I feel like I can speak to them with anything, which is phenomenal. It's changed my life. And obviously recording these videos as well, that's an added bit onto that to release this. So now it's sort of the pressure is, I can take more pressure, essentially. I believe I can anyway. I can take more pressure because it doesn't build up. This is what these videos help me to do, because it gets me running through my thoughts, figuring stuff out. So I've got less of a frustration trying to figure out why I'm feeling this way. And like with the house, I don't feel like I'm ready to have a home yet, but with all these things I've been typing in my notes and these conversations that I've been having with my girlfriend, and then also not only that, but telling my mum and dad that I'm not ready for a house yet, and their comments, it adds on to my thoughts and stuff like that. And if I'm honest, I've probably come to the conclusion now that if it did happen, I would be okay. I would be ready. and it wouldn't be as bad as before where I didn't figure it out. But it's a very quick process now, whereas before that probably would have took 2 months for me to dwell over, and that's probably a month and a half. Well, that's probably a month and a half too much where it's poisonous. Whereas now, I can write out in my notes, send it to my girlfriend, she can read it and comment on it, and we talk through things, and it's extremely healthy to do something like that. It makes me happy to be able to do that, and also to be accepted that is the way that I deal with things, that I type things out in notes, rather than first communicating it in person, because I can't necessarily get all my thoughts out, whereas in my notes I do, and then I can manage through them and come to these conclusions and stuff like that and feel better and then talk about it. So it's finding how you deal with things, and if you're lucky, having other people accepting that that's how you deal with things. Like I always say, I'm lucky that the people around me can accept that or go along with it, even if they don't accept it, because I'm loved. So if people are struggling and can't figure stuff out, it's you got to bounce ideas off different people, or bounce them into a set of notes and then share it. That's what I do. That's why it works. There's not this pressure to have to, when I'm speaking, get everything sort of correct. What's going on here, mate? There's not this pressure, because I can get it correct for myself, because I'm used to working, telling myself stuff and figuring out I've got that skill, I've worked on that skill, and it's sort of naturally happened that way. So in that sense, I'm lucky of how it's turned out. But in the past, I wouldn't ever have said that. I felt lucky that this is how I deal with stuff. But now it's a blessing. But it's good. I love just having these realizations and figuring stuff out. And, I think I'm quite mature to understand where the issues lie. And it's not with other people. When things get on top of you and you start stressing at other people and other people don't make you feel good, it's not the other people. It's something in you. It's not your fault necessarily. Well, it is kind of your fault, but not in that way where you can become a worse person. You just got to figure it out. That's what I've done this weekend, and it's great. A lot of food for thought this weekend, especially with that Stephen Bartlett sort of show that we went to, business-wise. There's a lot to think about. So, yeah, peace.